As human beings, we are naturally wired for connection. We crave being understood by others, and we are deeply terrified of isolation. Because of that fear, society feeds us a comfortable lie. From childhood, we are taught that unconditional kindness, relentless empathy, and unquestioning loyalty are absolute virtues. You expect that giving your loyalty naturally guarantees loyalty in return. To a manipulator, your empathy signals compliance, suggests you are willing to tolerate poor treatment to avoid being alone. Pursuing love and emotional approval creates a highly predictable structural weakness. You are others the exact levers needed to pull you in any direction. Niccolò Machiavelli formulated his strategies in the brutal political arena of 16th century Florence. He did to soothe the soft-hearted. He wrote a survival manual for operating in a predatory world. His core observation is severe but accurate. The more openly you feel and care, the easier you are to map out. This original manuscript documents a cold strategy. Manipulators actively read exposed weaknesses. They study the subtle cracks in your voice and the micro-expressions on your face, looking for the data points they need to turn your affections against you. Your unfiltered emotional reactions provide the primary threat to your autonomy. They offer a blueprint for others to dismantle your position from the inside. Machiavellian detachment is not about becoming numb. It is about stepping back to act as an observer of your emotions, rather than living as a servant to them. This diagram illustrates the physics of manipulation. To maintain the upper hand, toxic people demand constant emotional reactions, lengthy explanations, and desperate apologies. Your distress provides the energy they need. The power flip happens the exact moment you withhold that approval and offer absolute silence. Your stillness acts as an impenetrable wall. Without your usual panic, anger, or guilt to guide them, their predictable strategy has no target to hit. You cannot tolerate an information void. Faced with complete lack of response, the manipulator starts obsessing over your unpredictability. To regain their footing, they are forced to start chasing your approval. Power in the exact moment your opponent realizes their influence has been neutralized. By withholding the reaction they expect, you force them to operate entirely on your terms. To build this unreadable mind, you start with expectation as preparation. When you assume betrayal and disappointment are highly probable, you absorb the shock long before the actual event. It prevents the hit from throwing you off balance. The second pillar is internal control. You master the pause. You allow yourself to feel the anger or the sting of betrayal internally, but you intercept it before it dictates your physical response or leaves your mouth. The final pillar is controlled exposure. You interact, connect, but dictate the terms. You deliberately speak less than you feel, absorbing impact without showing reaction. Execute these 3 steps, and you strip away the easily triggered reactor. What remains is a deliberate, unreadable strategist. There is one final trap that keeps people toxic dynamics: the desperate hunger for closure. When you over-explain your side of the story or demand an apology for how you were treated, you are still seeking their validation. You are handing them the power to decide if your feelings are legitimate. The Machiavellian response is a complete withdrawal. You walk away with absolute silence. You offer 0 warnings, write no final messages, and leave no justifications. Sudden, indifferent absence leaves them grasping at air. Vanishing without a trace delivers a far more devastating psychological consequence than any angry confrontation could achieve. Once you eliminate the fear of losing people, a natural filtration system activates. Fair-weather friends and manipulative partners quickly expose their true faces when they realize they can no longer pull your strings. Their usual tools break against this mindset. Guilt, manufactured outrage, and sudden pleading lose all effectiveness when they crash into pure emotional detachment. Detachment becomes your offensive strategy, to strictly audit who is worthy of receiving your energy and who is a liability. This manuscript page represents the final shift in strategy. When your silence works in your favor and your emotions are no longer for sale, you exit the games others are trying to play. You become the sole arbiter of your own energy.